Good morning, Genesis. It's Pastor Stephanie. I hope everyone's having a great week so far. We are going to be reading from the book of Joshua today, chapter 6. We're going to read a couple of verses there. This is one of my favorite stories in the Bible, and it should be a well-known one. You should all know the story about Joshua and fighting the Battle of Jericho. So let's go ahead. We're going to start with verse 1. Now Jericho was securely shut up because of the children of Israel. None went out and none came in. And the Lord said to Joshua, "See, I have given Jericho into your hand, its king and the mighty men of valor. You shall march around the city, and you men of war. You shall go around the city once. This you shall do for 6 days. And 7 priests shall bear 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark. But the 7th day you shall march around the city 7 times, and the priests shall blow the trumpets. It shall come to pass, when they make a long blast with the ram's horn, and when you hear the sound of the trumpet, that all the people shall shout with a great shout. Then the wall of the city will fall flat down, and the people shall go up every man straight before him." Then Joshua called the priests and said to them, "Take up the Ark of the Covenant, and let 7 priests bear 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the Ark of the Lord." And he said to the people, "Proceed and march around the city, and let him who is armed advance before the Ark of the Lord." So it was, when Joshua had spoken to the people, that the 7 priests bearing the 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the Lord advanced and blew the trumpet, and the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord followed them. The armed men went before the priests who blew the trumpets, and the rear guard came after the ark, while the priests continued blowing the trumpets. Now Joshua had commanded the people, saying, "You shall not shout or make any noise with your voice, nor shall a word proceed out of your mouth until the day I say to you, 'Shout.' Then you shall shout." So the story goes on, and the children of Israel do what Joshua has commanded them to do. They march once around the city every day for 6 days, and that's on the 7th day they march around 7th time. And let's see, verse 16 says, "And the 7th time it happened, when the priests blew the trumpets, that Joshua said to the people, 'Shout, for the Lord has given you the city.'" So not only does this story have some, pretty amazing miracles happen, preceding this battle at Jericho. Right before this happens, God splits open water for them to walk across to get to the city of Jericho. So there's that huge miracle. And then also the story ends with the walls of Jericho falling down. So really, really great miracles happen. It's such a great story. But my favorite part of the whole story is verse 10. "Now Joshua had commanded the people, saying, 'You shall not shout or make any noise with your voice, nor shall a word proceed out of your mouth until the day I say to you, shout.'" Now, one thing I find really interesting here is that the Bible does not actually say that God told Joshua to tell them to not make any noise, not to shout, or even let a word proceed out of their mouth. But this is a commandment that Joshua is giving them. Now, historically, the children of Israel, they don't really have a good track record of staying strong in their walk with the Lord, following after God, right? They, throughout their years in the wilderness, many times make bad choices and make the choice to turn away from God and, to worship idols. So I wonder if Joshua was thinking like, man, I got to do something here to make sure that these people are going to listen and do what God is telling us to do. And I don't know about you, but have you ever been in a situation in which the people around you are talking you out of what God has for you? Man, I almost feel like Joshua was saying, no one's talking, because we're not going to talk any negative. I'm not going to let anyone talk us out of what the miracle that God is going to do, right? And not only do the people around us talk, and do they have the ability to talk us out of what God is doing in our lives or talk us out of the miracle that God is doing, the promise that He's fulfilling to us. But sometimes we talk ourselves out of it. And I just love, he said, nor shall a word proceed out of your mouth. Like, not one word. Not only don't shout, but do not let one word come out of your mouth. And I just love that. It's such a good reminder to not let any negative talk come out of our own mouths, but also not to entertain negative talk around us, right? Like, who are we surrounding ourselves with? What are the people that you're surrounding yourselves with? Are they the type who will talk you out of the promise that God has for you or the miracle that God is doing in your life? Or are they going to encourage you? Or sometimes do we just need to tell people to shut up and stop talking, right? Because we don't want to hear what they have to say. Instead, we want to hear what God has to say. I want to hear His promises. I want to hear His word. And I want to trust that He's faithful and that whatever He's doing in my life is going to come to pass. And there will be a great miracle at the end of this story. But man, I'm gonna have to keep my mouth shut, and I'm gonna have to make sure the people around me aren't talking negative to me as well. Yeah, guys, so that's just my reminder. Not only for myself, like, who am I surrounding myself with? Do I have people around me who are going to be encouraging and uplifting to me, or are they going to be talking negative, and are they going to be talking me out of the miracle that God has for me? And then also, what am I saying with my mouth? Like, am I talking negative? Am I talking myself out of the promise that God has for me? Man, so sometimes we just need to be quiet and not let a word proceed out of our mouths, right? And I love that he says, until the day I say to you, shout. And it's not until they shout on the seventh day, on the seventh time they walk around the city, that the miracle really happens and the walls fall. So guys, just reminder to surround yourself with those people who are encouraging you in your walk, and also remind yourself to only let positive things come out of your mouth, not negative. Don't talk yourself out of the miracle that God wants to do in your life, and don't let others talk you out of it as well. All right, guys, I love you. I hope you have a great day today, and I hope everyone's fast is going great. Bye.